Your position and celebrity status enabled you to nurture this relationship. You were able to gain access to this child, and you were able to gain the trust of this child. So it's a two-edged sword, your position. I hope you truly are remorseful. I don't know. You are going to get 1 year on the felony 4, 6 months on the misdemeanor. They'll run concurrent by operation of law. I will suspend the imposition of the sentence. You will be subject to 2 years community control sanctions. You'll have to register with Cuyahoga County. They will facilitate the transfer of probation to California. They will evaluate your sexual offender report that was submitted under seal. They will determine whether you have to undergo additional counseling. You will also perform 200 hours of community work service, and you're to have no contact with the victim, court costs imposed.
Okay, I mean, this happened in Cleveland, right? He was on tour, he was performing in Cleveland. The victim is actually, I think, from Canada and came down to his concert in Cleveland. But he never showed up in Cleveland for this whole case. I mean, he was able to zoom it in from California where he lives. He's going to zoom his sentence from California, which is interesting, but, you know, it is what it is. The real crux of this case that I don't understand is exactly what did he do? What did he do with this 15-year-old girl? Let me read for you first a statement from Ian Friedman and Madeline Grant, who are his attorneys. Ian Friedman, you probably recognize the name. He's on the show all the time. Great attorney from Cleveland. Here's the official statement on behalf of Drake Bell. Today's plea and sentence reflect conduct for which Mr. Bell did accept responsibility. The victim's allegations that went beyond that, which all parties agreed, not only lack supporting evidence, but are contradicted by the facts learned through extensive investigation. As the court made clear, the plea was never about sexual misconduct or sexual relations with any person, let alone a minor. Sexual registration was not imposed, as Mr. Bell did not plead guilty to any such offense. Drake and his family are relieved and grateful to have this matter behind them. He looks forward to once again performing for all of his supportive fans around the world. Hashtag Drake Bell. Okay, so I guess Drake Bell is the name he goes by. It's also Jared, and there's some Italian name as well. Okay, but here's the problem. Today, during the sentencing, the victim gets to give a victim impact statement. We see it in sentencings all the time. And when she spoke today, though, she spoke about things that seemed a little bit different than what he pleaded guilty to. But let's take a look at how this went down. Now, we've blurred her face because at the time all this took place, she was 15, he was a grown man, and she's now 19. But let's take a listen.
I want to make something very clear. The reason that these particular incidents did not result any further than oral sex was because the defendant knew that I was menstruating at the time. Had I not been menstruating then, he would have raped me. Don't look at me like that. Because he would tell me how badly he wanted to penetrate me vaginally, but used much more vulgar language. The pain that the defendant has caused me is indescribable, and it worsens every day. Being used by somebody who meant the world to me has left me feeling more hurt than I've ever been before. I am now 19, and my life hasn't been the same since I was 15. I think about these crimes every single day. I feel like I'm in a constant dark place. Sometimes I wish I could disappear so I can forget about what happened. Right after I reported him, my parents sent me to a therapist. So far, they have spent $7,620 in hopes that she can help me move forward from this.
Okay, so she's alleging something more than what the agreement is for, and he's getting probation. It's community control, probation that he'll do out in California. Let's bring in our think tank, try to unravel all of this. Joining us tonight in Chicago, Illinois, high-profile criminal defense attorney and the former attorney for R. Kelly, Steve Greenberg, is with us. Also represented one of the Petersons in the Summer of Peterson I forget which one it was. Which Peterson was it? It was Drew, right?
Drew, yeah. But I
Drew.
still represent R. Kelly.
Oh, you still do? Gotcha.
He's got a lot of cases.
Okay. Still the attorney for R. Kelly. Okay. Also with us, the attorney for several of R. Kelly's accusers, also a great attorney, Gerald Griggs is with us. He's here in Atlanta. In West Palm Beach, Florida, the state attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida, Dave Arenberg is with us. Welcome to you all. Dave Arenberg, let me start with you first of all. Does this smell like there was some special celebrity justice going on for Drake Bell in the way this whole thing was handled so quickly? And it didn't seem like the allegations of the accuser were necessarily exactly what he pleaded guilty to. And by the way, he did the whole thing from California on Zoom.
Yeah, good evening, Vinny. It's great to have you back. Last time we were together, I was telling you I never heard of this guy, Drake, and you said that you knew that he was a huge star, and I expressed some skepticism with the whole plea deal, thinking maybe he got special treatment. But I watched the entire hearing today, and there are clearly issues here with the victim that obviously went into the prosecution's calculations on cutting this deal. There were mental health issues involving this victim. The victim admitted to them, although the defense counsel said that the mental health issues came much sooner than the victim said. She said that they were brought on by Mr. Drake here. There was an incident that the defense counsel said that was very telling, said that the victim at one point said that the defendant's investigators met with her and interviewed her. And then later she admitted it never happened, but it just seemed realistic to her. And then there are some issues of contradictory statements about going into his hotel room or not. And so I think there are evidentiary issues here that led to this. I actually believe that the prosecutors would have filed the more serious charges if they had the evidence and the victim testimony was credible enough to put her on the stand and to convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt, but it doesn't look like they had that.
All right, Steve, what role do you think his celebrity played in all of this? In the fact that he's meeting with this 15-year-old girl, communicating with this young girl, to the charges and the way everything was resolved?
I'm sorry, you froze, Vinny, so I missed
froze
the
on you.
question. You froze on me. I'm having internet issues tonight, apparently. I don't think a celebrity played any role in it at all. I agree that they probably didn't have very good evidence here. Sometimes we're risk managers, not just attorneys. I think he looked at everything and he evaluated the risk and decided that this was sort of the smartest way for him to go. He doesn't have to register as a sex offender. That's highly unusual. And he got probation, which is also highly unusual. If the prosecutor had believed the young lady, there's no way that he would have gotten the agreement that he got, the failure to register agreement, and the sentence that he received. So I think they just had a ton of proof issues here and credibility issues with her. And we need to, as a society, and I'm sure I'll get vilified for this, just stop taking the accuser's word for face value. So she said things today, and if she had said things that were provable and accurate, you would have heard the prosecutor back those up at sentencing.
Gerald Griggs, what happened here and how difficult is it when you are accusing someone who is a powerful celebrity?
Yeah, well, child sex cases or sex cases in general are very difficult, especially when you're dealing with a high-profile celebrity. In this case, like the other attorneys have said, there seem to be credibility issues, there seem to be proof issues, and that's why the prosecution went this route. So I'm not surprised, having heard about her previous history of mental health distress, as well as the evidentiary issues that they were going to face. I think that this was the right outcome in this particular case. I don't think it had anything to do with the celebrity. I think he had very good lawyers and very good investigators.
All right, let's take a listen. Go ahead.
I've never heard of this guy either.
Well, you haven't heard of Drake?
You're calling him.
You have not heard of Drake, Steve Greenberg.
I've heard of Drake, the singer.
Yeah, everybody's heard of Drake.
No, this is the original Drake. This is the original. This goes back to Nickelodeon. Not what show was Drake on? Drake was on TV too. All right.
I was the original Johnny Cochran, so
there you go.
It works.
Let's take a listen to his statement today because he did speak, and you heard the accuser or the victim in the case kind of calling him out while she was giving her statement. But let's take a listen to Jared Drake Bell.
With respect to the potential civil litigation, he has pled to certain offenses which could expose him to civil liability. So in that regard, I would like to hear from the defendant as to what his position on this is and why this occurred. Mr. Bell, go ahead.
Your Honor, I just want to say today that I accept this plea because my conduct was wrong. I'm sorry that the victim was harmed in any way, but that was obviously not my intention. I have taken this matter very, very seriously. And again, I just want to apologize to her and anyone else who may have been affected by my actions.
Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Did he take responsibility there, Dave?
Not really, but he was advised before that statement by his own lawyers, in addition to the judge, that he could face civil liability depending on what he said. So he was very judicious with his words. Look, even though all of us seem to agree that the prosecutors, if they had the evidence, if they had the goods, would have put on that evidence and gone after him in a bigger way, I still have no sympathy, I'm sure none of us do, with Drake, because he was a 30-something-year-old hanging around with 15-year-old girl, sending her inappropriate messages. So I pity him not. And by the way, he may be famous in your eyes, Vinny, but he ain't no champagne poppy.
Gotcha. Steve, why would, and I understand who the fan base is, right? He was a Nickelodeon star, and I understand all that. But why? Why on earth, unless it is you've got a real personal problem, why would you even have these sort of interactions with young girls? I mean, I don't understand why he would do it unless he's got a serious problem.
I'm not qualified to give an opinion or an answer to that question, Vinny. That's for a psychiatrist of some kind to answer. I know.
But is there an
all the
innocent
time-
explanation? I'm saying, is there an innocent explanation for this type
Well,
of behavior?
obviously, there's probably not an innocent explanation. I mean, obviously, there's some sort of an issue that the man likely has, but I think that's true of many of our clients. They come in and you think, why would they do this? There was an alternative, and I just don't feel like that's something. I don't know enough about the facts. I don't know enough about his history. I don't know if the slime hit him the wrong way or whatever happened on Nickelodeon.
That's a Nickelodeon reference. Well done. The green slime.
Well done. All right, Gerald Griggs, I'll give you the final word here on Drake Bell tonight. Do you think, and again, this is a tough prediction, but based upon how all this transpired, and he's really not being punished. I mean, yes, people are talking about him today, but he doesn't have to register. He's got probation. Do you think we'll ever see him in a criminal courtroom again?
Well, I don't think so. I think that, he's got his one bite at the apple. I think he kind of skated on a really sweetheart deal. And I think he probably has learned a better way to handle these type of situations. My heart goes out to the accuser in this particular case, but also he had very good lawyers and very good investigators. So I think that he will think twice before participating in this type of behavior. But I do think that it's very curious that he was hanging around and associating with very young women in a situation that could have been a lot worse had she been more stable and been able to produce more physical evidence. So I think he skated on this one.
Yeah, I just hope the lesson is learned. Just stay. I mean, come on, you're a grown man. Just act like a man. What are you doing? There's no reason for it. Okay, Think Tank, staying with us. When we come back,